Yes, we're live. All right. How we doing, everybody? There's Zunaid, there's Ryan, there's Mitch, and here's me. And we didn't do this yesterday, so it's been almost a week since we've been together. So I missed you all. I'm excited. Let's get the show on the road and do some live trading.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas law, that phrase.
Kiana.
Fisher. Choi.
Joe. Cards drawn are the past, ones to come are future.
And the best part? It's beatable.
Good morning, everyone. How we doing? Let's all share our screens. Let's all tell the people what we're watching. Tell us what you're watching in the chat. And also, while you're there, hit that like button, please, and thank you. If not for me, then for Mitch or for Zunaid or Ryan. Zunaid, where are you coming to us from today? Because you're always in a different state.
I am, and this time I am in New York, about 25 minutes away from the NYSC. So, you know, I feel like my trade execution is going to be a little A1. You know what I mean?
It should be faster.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, I better get fast fills, and I better get damn good prices here.
Only the best executions for you today.
100%. Like, I might be a market maker at this point. I don't know.
Did you extend that Ethernet cord into the exchange?
So fun fact, I'll take 10 seconds here. I watched a video where when they were building the Ethernet cords for the hedge funds and stuff, they would be pissed if the Ethernet cord was a little bent. They're like, no, we want it straight.
Yeah.
We want it straight because obviously speed is slightly slow, nanoseconds, whatever you want to call it. If it's a little curvy, they're like, no, we want this shit straight. But anyway.
Yeah, the fiber optic cables. Yes. If you haven't heard about that, you should read Flash Boys. That's basically what it's about. But yeah, they're those cables, man, from Chicago to New York. Ryan knows about it. Anyway.
Sorry, I was texting, man. You can't set me up while I'm sending a text.
I'm just saying. Anyway, okay, let's start. Let's go around the horn here. I guess I don't want to start. I'm talking too much here. So who wants to start with what stocks?
I will. So you
All
can
right,
set me up later.
Ryan always needs to
right.
talk.
First things first, I'm going to be watching Neuro. This looks to be up on no news. This particular stock is no stranger to outsized runs. It's done it recently several times. So I think maybe if this builds above here, or builds above these pre-market highs here, we could get some more fireworks today. Be very, very careful. Definitely don't hold this overnight. I would suspect that they could raise at any time. I don't necessarily believe in the long-term premise of this company. I just think this might be a good trading target today. And then the other one that I'm watching is RGS. This actually came from one of our pro traders in the chat room. So this one we're going to be watching for a rebound today. You can see that this is pretty much beaten down here. So if we get any type of upward move and we break above this about 415 area, it's only 20 cents from where we're at. I think we get some fireworks here too.
I do want to let the chat know that Mitch left us because he needed to go get orange juice. I just wanted to let the world know that this man has left us to get some orange juice. But in terms of stocks that I'm watching, Microsoft over 300. I feel like I've said this so many times, whether it's, hey, above 300, I'm going long, or a bounce of 300, and it's worked out very well. And I should go ahead and share my chart because there was another ticker that had a beautiful trade over 300, and that was UPST. I'll figure it out how to share my screen here in a second. So I'm keeping an eye on UPST to see kind of what it does. But also, yes, I am taking a look at Microsoft over 300, looking to trade that. AMD had a real nice bounce over 100. So I'm looking for a continuation, especially if it pops over 105. I am going to get long AMD. I'm already long a couple of October contracts. I think it's the 110s that I have that I purchased around that $100 level. So those are the ones that I'm taking a look at. ATER, that's something a lot of folks have talked about. And, you know, so it's interesting. Anytime I trade from a hotel, I lose money. So I really am going to be downsizing my things because it doesn't work. I need to get like a portable screen is what I need to do.
Yeah, what you need is like a like a Surface to go with your laptop or something like that.
Yeah. I should have brought my MacBook. That's what I should have done.
Yeah.
I
All
like
right.
what Hex said. Hex 214 Pony. Mitch is after the squeeze. He's referring to the orange juice.
Nice.
I like that.
All right,
love
I am done licking my wounds, and I'm ready to get back in the game. I don't have anything hot that I'm watching for a trade yet today. I did want to bring to you all's attention this interesting chart that I saw, and the source it's from Bloomberg, but I don't actually know where the data comes from. It's a screenshot from the Bloomberg terminal though, and I want to bring it up on my screen here. This is a chart showing the stocks that have been most bought by retail investors in the last 5 days. Now, I don't really know where this data came from, and I don't know how they got it. I just know this is a screenshot from Bloomberg, and I wanted to bring it to your attention. So here's that chart right now. These are the stocks, according to whoever put this together on the Bloomberg terminal, that were the most bought by retail investors in the last 5 days. Apple, AMD, AMC, Microsoft, Alibaba are your top 5 most bought stocks among retail and that number on the right there is total amount of shares bought in millions. So $362 million worth of Apple bought by retail investors in the last 5 days. I thought this is interesting, just to give you an idea of it's the same idea as watching Wall Street Bets, right? It's just watching the trend and watching the flow. So I thought this was an interesting chart. So there you go. I'm not vouching for this data. I'm just saying here it is.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised my buys showed up on this chart. That's incredible with AMD and Microsoft. I'm surprised they showed up.
Yeah. And guys, look at the bottom of that chart. Look at Win and LVS. I know you all are trying to buy dips. You all are trying to call bottoms. Those casinos, man, have been brutal. They've been brutalized. Absolutely brutal week.
Brutalized.
Wait, can you pull up those?
Brutalized into a support area though. So.
I was just about to say those. I think the bottom 3 tickers that you had, I believe it might have been Intel, LVS, and something else. They're around that 53, 54.
Yep, Las Vegas, Nvidia, Intel were the bottom 3.
So keep an eye, folks. Set alerts around those price targets, especially around $51 and $50, because there's a very good chance that it's going to go ahead and bounce from those levels. I'll show my charts as we start trading here, but that bounce from 300 from UPST was beautiful. Just went on a nice little run there. The bounce from the $100 level in AMD, you're already up $4 or $5. Your risk would have been about $1. So when the market is taking a dump, so to speak, you've got to figure out where those levels are at, because when the market turns, those are going to be typically the first stocks that have nice support already, and they're going to have like a trampoline effect. NURO, I know you mentioned it, Ryan. For me, 14 was a really nice. It's funny, by the way, Ryan. In my ticker in E-Trade Pro, I just typed in Ryan instead of NURO. I thought you'd enjoy that.
I would. Ryan's group, baby. Let's go.
$14 was a nice base where it was support, right? So now 15 is obviously resistant. I would love for it to kind of break out over 15 and come test it. And that's where I could try to nibble just a little bit because I am in the hotel. Or $14 as, again, a support there. So those are the 2 levels I'm looking for myself personally.
Yeah, 14 I think is a spot on level. Looks like it actually bounced off that in the pre-market already once.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been bouncing off of that for at least 50 cents or so for the past 1 hour. So it's been nice. Hey man, how's your orange juice?
You know it. Pinky's up. That's all I gotta say, guys. You guys out there, you guys do great in the market. I got my OJ, got the energy back. I'm back like a track and coming with the hot tracks right here. I'll drop it right. You ready? We got Bros, Lucid, DraftKings, Roku, Overstock, and PLL and MP on the radar. That's my watch list.
DraftKings was on my list as well because they were. I was watching this chart this morning during pre-market prep because they were named as a best short idea by an activist firm here this morning, Hedgeye.
Good and
DraftKings chart is looking not so great here. So and now there's a negative catalyst this morning, and it did move a little bit. That red candle you see there on the right there, that was the Hedgeye report. So it moved a smidge, but I get the feeling that the report hasn't widely spread yet, and I'm wondering if it will off the open. So watching DraftKings. So good call, Mitch. I'm in you with there as well.
Yeah, definitely going to keep an eye on that one. I mean, at the end of the day, what they went after is not a bad move in the industry. You're going to continue to see acquisitions from these smaller companies. What it does is it gives them access to millions of customers immediately. And that's the battle right now. The battle is market share, right? Market share and growth. That's what the gaming companies are really battling to get is, you know, this is like brand new markets. The first thing you're trying to go after is the market share. So I think that's what DKNG is going after here. MGM is actually a 50% stake in the company that they were going after. So that's why you saw MGM up from that. So that gives me that sign that, hey, I mean, it was bearish for DKNG, bullish for MGM. In the long run, I think it's a bullish acquisition there. I'm going to keep watching it, but let's talk about some other stocks too. Let's get into Roku. Roku, I'm actually in, guys. Just want to give you guys full disclosure. I'm in this one at 320.08. Got this one yesterday. Already up about 17 points. So I'll hang out in this one looking for a pop at the open to sell into. If I could get 10% in 2 days, I'll take it. We'll see what happens with this one. Another one that I want to take a look at is OSTK, putting this one on everyone's radar. I've actually traded this one twice this year for higher than 20% gains. Nice. I'm looking to call it again right here. Love that bottoming action. Great day yesterday. We'll look for it to extend today. Money.
For stock, man, this stock was so insane because I think it was around $2.50 or so, and near the March lows, right, all the way up to about 120. Yeah, there you go. And so, can you imagine, like, just good God, $2 and some change, and just riding all the way to 120s?
I know it's really
and that and what was it? Wayfair W.
I know
ticker. That was just astronomical.
You know what? That Wayfair chart, so many of these stocks that insane moves and topped out in January or February, so many of them are down like 40, 50, 60%. Not Wayfair. Wayfair, the all-time high is what? Okay, so we're down $90. Which is that we're down from 369 to 277. Okay, so like
percentage-wise, isn't too crazy compared to like some other stocks.
Exactly, it's actually not as bad as a lot of the other, like Peloton, for example, right?
Yeah,
or Zoom, right?
Yeah,
I mean, Wayfair actually looks like it's held up okay, or like Stitch Fix, like let Stitch Fix chart earnings from yesterday, notwithstanding, and this thing went from it went from 113 to 20 or 34, right? I mean, so that Wayfair chart, I hadn't looked at that for a hot second, but it doesn't actually look that terrible this year.
It's like consolidating somewhat. It's in range, right? Yeah. It's actually right in the middle of it. It looks like. Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about Wayfair besides how there was this one wannabe scandal about how.
Don't even.
As long as you know.
I know you're gonna say don't say it.
Fat-fingered Zunaid over here.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, I know we're about to start trading here at the bell. Love your sweater, Spencer. I need to know where I can get one of those. I need producer AB to ship me that, unless it's like old school.
What do you want, black or blue?
Ooh, black. I'm greedy. What do you mean both?
All right.
That's smart, man. That's what I'm talking about, Zunaid.
He almost got me to pick one color. Like what?
Right. Like
just put the other one, Spencer. Put the black one over the blue one, but don't zip it, and then you can call it Bruise.
I don't get that joke.
I don't either. I'm just laughing.
Bruise, black and blue.
All right.
Oh wow, that was bad.
All right.
Oh my God, tough crowd today.
Folks. Sorry. Sorry that one. Sorry, Ryan. Okay.
You have to be sorry.
So Jesse's asking about NURO Neuro. I have not
over 15 now.
I have not seen any headlines on Neuro today. What is NURO doing? It is doing something. All right. So
let's ticker that Ryan and I talked about, right? $14 support breakout over 15. It's over 15 at the moment. 15.03 is the bid. But again, when that market starts here momentarily, let's see what it does.
My fault, guys. My fault. forgotten already that was the first one Brian talked about, and I forgot about it. So
That's okay. You were focused on getting me this
sorry,
sweater. There you go, though.
that was the first one you mentioned, and I just totally
Ding,
blanked.
ding, 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 ding,
All
ding.
right, we're open. Let's go to the scanner in Benzinga Pro and see what's up and what's down and what's moving. Quickly.
Definitely a black cat. Watched it again on replay. Deja vu, baby.
Yeah. All right. What am I seeing here off the open?
What is going on, man? All right.
Watching the Bitcoin miners.
Neuro with a nice pop.
Watching the Bitcoin miners. Mitch, can you share your screen?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know why I didn't. Looks like I don't want to share today.
Terrible job.
Terrible.
Watching Bitcoin miners all dip off the open.
All right, so Neuro making a quick move up there. I'm pretty sure some people bought the 15 right out the open. We'll see if the 1475 holds. I'm pretty sure that's where the risk is on a lot of the traders. Why? Because that's the prior resistance. They're trying to see it if it becomes support now. We'll see if that 1475 holds here. Just came back to 15. So we'll see if it gets back up there to 1550. That's what I would want to see if I was in Neuro and looking for that pop.
Yeah, I want to see that retest. Let me get a little nibble at it, please. Around that 14 would be great. I don't know if I will get that, but let's see.
A little bit of a pull here on Neuro. Here we go. Here's a pull. So let's see where this ends up.
Here, I'm gonna put a small order in just for fun at $14.10.
See how that cracked really fast through that 1475 mark? There's a reason why. There's a lot of orders that were piled up there. And then when it hits it, boom, it flushes through the bid. And the next thing you know, you're looking down. Oh, I got out. Oh, it's back up.
1426 was the low on that pull, Zunaid. So 16 cents off your mark. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Sorry you didn't get filled there. Nice little bounce.
I did not. It's literally still just the order's still out there. So that's another thing that I've got to learn, right? It's like once it gets that close a second time around, it's not as advantageous for a bounce, if that makes sense, right? Because it's already kind of bounced off once. You know what we always say, especially Mitch, you keep knocking on that door, you're going to crush it. So that second knock at 14 may not be as kind, but let's see. My order's still out there. And we can see what's going on with that one. Let me see what's going on with Microsoft and UPST. So let's take a little UPST. Nothing there.
What you called out, Zunaid, what I usually do is if it does get down there to that level, then comes back to that level, I'll look for the third time. There's like this rule of 3 that I always try to follow. A lot of times we'll get test of support 3 times, then a breakout to the upside.
I like that.
Good volume here, and it looks like it's trying to find some support here. So
yeah, someone stepped up there at the VWAP. It's trading around the VWAP right now. So we all know how traders watch that level. So definitely, I think some people are getting in on the VWAP here. We'll see what happens if it gets back towards 1545.
Last 1 minute. Last 2 1-minute candles bounced off the VWAP. So
that's exactly what I was going to say. The same way where it's rejected VWAP here. Yesterday, I had a beautiful trade in Facebook where it continuously kept getting rejected from VWAP. So if something like this presents itself an opportunity, I will go ahead and call it out. But yeah, so far, NURO rejected off of VWAP twice. Microsoft not really doing anything too crazy that I like just yet. So I'm just kind of hanging on tight.
Jesse asking, how often do you guys sit out the first 10 to 15 minutes? Jesse, I used to have that as a rule. Because I would get chopped up trying to go after things within that first 15 minutes. Now it's really setup dependent. In some cases, if I feel that the overall market is strong and I'm trying to trade a stock that I know is strong and it's selling off in the morning, I may try to play a bounce there. But otherwise, I like to have things kind of settle in before I get an idea of where I'm going. Again, it's setup based. It's not necessarily a rule anymore per se.
All right, Bros is up almost 4% now, guys. So keep your eyes on the Bros game, man.
That must be the best coffee in the world.
That's what I've been saying every day, man.
Dude, I remember when Matt Hammond brought this up on Pre-Market Prep.
Yeah, and I never heard of it.
I jumped on as soon as I heard the name. I was like, whoa. Dutch coffee's going public? Whoa. I need some of this. This is the only place, I'm telling you, Spencer, I've never seen lines go around.
Yeah,
place for coffee.
Apparently so.
But I
Where's
told
it
you the
at?
other day, Spencer, you know how I told you I wanted to get it so I
Yeah,
could bring it on
yeah.
the show?
Yeah.
I went to it and I saw the line and I had to turn around. I couldn't do it. I couldn't
Where
do
is
it.
this?
I can't wait 30 minutes to get
Dutch
coffee.
Brothers. Dutch
Yeah,
Brothers.
no way.
No. Where though? Just any location, I guess.
It's Pacific side. So
Okay.
majority, I think, is in California.
California or so.
But it is moving east. So
I got
you
you.
might see it opening up in, let's say, major east cities in the next, I'd say, year or two. It's franchisees also. So
I got you.
we'll see what happens. But,
Wow.
I mean, man, this thing's taking a ride for sure.
I got you. Tesla, by the way.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to
Go
say
ahead.
Tesla, by the way, it's looking interesting here, right? It's at the 753. If you wanted to, you can go to grab some comments or maybe a 755 or 750 call. Your stop loss would be about $3.50 away from here, basically at 750 or below. I'm actually going to go ahead and take one small contract here. But again, keep in mind, this is risky because it's not like Tesla's up quite a bit and in a uptrend or whatever. It's kind of just hanging out there, and it very well could go green to red here, but as long as it stays above 750. So I went and bought one contract right now. My fill was 468. I will buy another one around 751, 750, and then I will see where the ride takes us. And now that contract that I purchased for 470 is now trading at 570. So I'm going to actually go ahead and put an order out there to get out at 575 if I can get it. Oh, and it just spiked down. Oh, I hate you. Oh, I hate life. I should have put this out earlier. That's right. But anyway, there is an order out for 575. So basically $100.
You'll be hating life, bro.
No, today's excited. But NURO, though, going back to it, right? If you look at the 1 minute, continuously getting rejected from that VWAP. Continuously getting rejected from that.
Lucid is at I think a ride or die point right here. Right now, it's just broke VWAP. It's been trying to get back above. If you look at the daily, there's a trend line that it's trying to hold on these pullbacks. Which 25 is really the price point that we need to hold on downside action. And right now, it's definitely fighting it. It just broke through the VWAP. We'll see if it cracks on down through 25. If it does start heading down towards 25, I might take a YOLO put. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens here. I need to see the prices and see how much premium they want on these.
I'm glad you brought up the $25 level, because if you go ahead and look at pre-market, especially around the 9:15 time frame, it did bounce. I believe it's let me see the exact price on that I'm calling out. It bounced off of 25.12 was the low of that ticker at 9:15 in pre-market. So keep an eye on those levels. Below 25 would be my stop loss if you are going to try to get it in this one. Again, doesn't have the great trend just yet, but if you want to take a stab at it, you absolutely can.
All right, gonna look for a bounce back here towards VWAP and then a flush down in Lucid. I'd go after the 25 puts here, just the weekly, literally. We'll see if we can get it to bounce. Give me up to about 55 cents on the ask. We'll see if we can get that, and then maybe attack this to get back up there. The high on the contract of the day is 68 cents.
Nero popped over that VWAP, but ended up getting rejected off of 15 to get. The amount of times I've missed my entry on this trade by like 12 cents or more. Good God.
Watching QuantumScape. QuantumScape's going again here.
QS, baby. Let's go.
Well, and keep in mind, broader market here is ripping. SPY is really kind of.
It's actually funny because it's not the SPY is ripping, but the Qs are muted here, so it's really more of a FANG trade because the SPY is like 25%, like 4 companies or 5 stocks. So if you look at actually what's driving us higher this morning, actually no, I take that back because it's not a FANG trade. Apple's down from the open. Facebook is down from the open. Google is,
dude. It's Google's financial services, believe it or not, leading us.
There you go. You got the sectors up.
Yeah, I've got the sectors up too. I just choose to ignore them for some reason. Banks and energy are leading us here. But yeah, the SPY is having a nice pop here. Again, I'm just going back to QS. It's up on my screen because for whatever reason,
You know what's looking strong, guys, lately, and you guys know I like try to look a little bit forward, not necessarily even just for today, but airlines. Airlines are starting to actually look strong.
Wait,
at least their charts.
Can we look at this resistance we've got in QS that we're actually that we're just basically breaking through as we speak?
Yeah.
How many tops do we have?
2450.
Yeah, how many tops do you have? 2450. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 tops, 2450.
Yeah, 21 is the number for me on QS that you can risk off of, and just literally, that's the price point. Never wanted to really hold it.
I mean, the 50 day is 22.
I was just about to say you've got the
but this is actually a nice setup here.
It is a nice setup.
All right, cool.
Nice. I don't find good setups all the time. So
there you go, bro.
Props to Spencer.
You know which one's been hurting me since I got stopped out in? Just mentioned in the chat.
What?
Airbnb hurts. I'm still on the hurt. I'm still hurting from Airbnb.
Yeah, I'm underwater in Airbnb. I'm underwater in. Oh no, I'm not actually. I'm underwater in SoFi.
I had gotten this one at under 158, and then that wick day just destroyed me. That wick day just destroyed me out of this trade. I would be up close to what? Let's see. Let's say almost 9%, 10% on that name. It's not a bad one. Unity was mentioned yesterday by the Kramer Pumper.
The Kramer Pumper. Oh, that's funny.
That's a new one.
Well, I mean, we can call him Framer, whatever you want to call him.
Finally got it.
Whoa.
All right.
There you go. Look at that pop on you. That's that Kramer pop right there.
Real quick, I finally got my fill on NURO at $1.10. I'm trying to see. Yeah, finally it didn't completely crack. Give me a sec. Let me show you guys something here. I'm sorry, one moment. Where is my? Oh, there it is. Yeah, if you want to,
the black
free to have my charts showed up.
Yeah, I got you. You're
Appreciate you, sir. Okay.
What the?
What happened?
No, every time any one of my any app, whether it's Fidelity or Webull, whenever they update, it always messes with my it's like I'm not used to it anyway.
Well, as I show this live, it may actually kind of take me out with my stop loss here. But anyway, I wanted to show that $14 where it went ahead and bounced, right? We talked about, hey, that's the support. Obviously, it came back down, and it's going to possibly crush it and stop me out. Let me see what my stop loss is at.
QS, great call out, Spencer. QS, right through 2450. Gave you a great day trade there. I actually scalped it small, but great
nice.
call out there.
Hey, I'm glad somebody made a nickel off that.
There you go.
A literal nickel, actually.
All right. Guys, Zunaid, back to you.
Yeah, no, that's a good call. I appreciate you calling that out. But basically,
call.
what I was saying was you had a $14 bounce, right? And then right over there. So you have $14 bounce. You had my order there. I did not sell it, so I did not pretend like I did because my target was more so around $14.40. But you got a nice 30 cents off of it. So if you're risking 10 cents and you're getting 30 cents, that's great. I did go ahead and get stopped out here, literally. Thank you for taking me out, market makers. My stop loss was $13.90. I did get taken out, and now it's above, but that's okay. But my whole point was, if you had a bracket trade open where you had like a 14.10 buy, 14.30 sell, and then the stop loss was $13.90, you have a nice trade there. And this continuously happens. I want to take a look at UPST real quick, and someone else has a trade anytime. Please interrupt me. But you go ahead and take a look at UPST. Right around the $300 level was where that nice bounce was, if I can find it from a few days ago. So, you want to know your levels. You want to know where your stop losses are. You want to know where the support resistance and all that is. Like, look at that. Right around that $300 level at the opening of the day, and then it's just beautiful. Wow. Beautiful, right? I mean, you have your stop losses, and sure, sometimes you may get your stop loss taken out, and that's fine. Go ahead and get out so you can get back in. But as soon as you see that strength, right here, as soon as you see that strength, you go ahead and get back in, and then you ride it very nicely. Ride the EMAs, whatever. Look at that beautiful trade. You would have gone out at 325 from 300.
Well, look at the morning that Nike is having. Nike reports after the close today. What a strong day for Nike. Actually, what a strong week for Nike. Look at Nike this week.
Let's see. Let's take a look.
I mean, this is to some extent the entire market. but not the indexes can't say that they've gained back all of the losses from Friday and Monday. Nike can say that. Nike is now above Friday's high. Right, Friday's high was 160. No, well, not quite. We were, or we're close. We're close though. My point is Nike running into its report tonight. That's my call out.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get a pullback. I'm trying to swing trade GAN right now. Gambling looking good today. Overall, all green. That's what I want to see, guys. When I'm looking for an industry to be hot, right? I've looked at the seasonality of gambling. It usually has a pop early September, fade off into the middle of September, and a pop going into October. That's what I'm looking for. Good recovery in a lot of these stocks today. Penn showing some good strength also. That's a good sign there. Look at that candle. I saw this candle. I didn't even see these 2 or 3 candles. I only saw this one, and that already gave me the confidence. I have an order out for GAN right now at 1550. I'm looking for DKNG also to come below VWAP. I would take a shot on that one coming right back up too.
We've got a friend in the chat saying Trade Zero is offline, can't trade. Trade Zero is usually reliable for me. Someone else go ahead and double check and see if they're having the same issue or not. My Tesla trade still in it. I'm literally at break even. It keeps going up like 10-15%, but it hasn't taken my limit out at $5.75. But it's kind of flirting with that VWAP. I'm hoping for a break above 755. That's probably where I'll get my profit. A break below 750 is where I will go ahead and take my L, as I always do when I trade from my hotel. NURO reclaimed that $14 level after taking my stop loss out. So if you got in that trade, your VWAP is going to be right above 1450. So you want to take profits at least a little bit, the first half, the first quarter, whatever it is, right around that area there. QS is coming up to the $25 range there. So nice trade. I know you took a little bit of it, Ryan. I don't know if you're still in it. And there's a LCID, Lucid, bouncing off of that 25.
I like Roku here. I'm liking that setup. I like also DraftKings right now getting towards the VWAP. We'll see if it kind of holds slightly underneath. Look for a 52.90 wick right back up there. Pretty much. I mean, my watch list from this morning is all in the green. I'm sure a lot of people's is in the green. This is when you got to start determining what is your real strategy here. Some people are trying to do more of a dead cat bounce, sell into the rip. Some people are thinking this is a new bull run, like a new wave up. So that's what you got to determine. I think it's important for you to get towards the point where you make a decision on this and hold towards that decision.
So SPY's ramping. SPY continues to ramp. Sorry, guys. I thought I was muted for some reason. I'm sorry about that. I was talking into a muted microphone. One of the stocks I want to take a look at here, Jordan Belfort, nice name, in the chat there is saying that video game stocks are up. That's true. Take-Two, EA, ATVI. ATVI is interesting here. I was recently short this stock. I actually closed my short on the headline on Monday that we got about the SEC investigating the sexual assault allegations there.
Nice job, Ryan.
Yeah, so I was short this via the October 75 puts. When we got that headline on Monday, if we go back to the 5-minute chart here, you can see we actually traded right down to 75. Right here, we actually broke 75. I was not quick enough to get it there. I hit it probably about 75.32. Still 115% on that trade. Here's the reason that I'm bringing this up now is because I'm actually looking for this to bounce here. Several reasons. Number one, I've been working with one of our viewers here, 13, who shows up quite a bit. We've been kind of going back and forth, watching a lot of the videos and the information about what's going on at Activision. And I suspect that we're getting a bounce today. We've got earnings in a month, and that might actually push it up. Remember, earnings actually popped this the last time we had earnings. But I think after that, as this starts to roll through the company, you might actually trade back down. So my trade plan here is I'm hoping that this pops into the 80s. Mid-80s would be about perfect. I'd look to reshort this to a 71 target. I don't think the downside is done here until we test 71. So that's going to be right in here.
Activision it's a total shitstorm right now. But if you go back long enough, this isn't the first time. If you go back to a monthly chart there, Activision, at one point went from like 84 down to like the 30s. It got cut in half at one point, right? Like 84 to the 30s. So this is stock, and then it went back to 100. So stock is no stranger to cycles. I would be like Ryan and not trying to be the person to be here on call the bottom. Is it probably going to go higher at some point? I mean, is the trend going to turn eventually? Yeah, but I would need a strong period of sideways action for me to change my mind.
Yeah,
I mean, good.
To me, I think we really need to test 70, 71. And if we don't get there, I'd be looked to reshort until we do get there.
A couple of short ideas. UPST is below VWAP, 330 area. You can go ahead and get short here. Actually, I'm a few shares. My stop loss will be about 332, so I'm risking $3. Our own main man, Chris, is in the chat. Happy birthday to Chris, by the way.
Yeah, happy birthday, Chris.
Happy birthday to Chris. He's saying ATVI, date to watch is 9/25, which is coming up here in a couple of days. Company said it would give an Overwatch 2 update at Overwatch Esports event. Apologies if you've already mentioned this, but didn't some big dude, Chucku something, step out or his post or something like that?
The head, he was the head of
or something?
No, he was the head of game development. He was in charge of who was it? I'm blanking. It was like 2 days ago.
I'm sure Chris is typing in the chat, but yeah, let me look that up as well here.
It was just the head of gaming at Blizzard. I think it was the guy in charge of Blizzard Gaming. I think. Yeah. Chaco Sunny. Overwatch. He was in charge of Overwatch, I guess.
Real quick on that short of UPST, I went ahead and got a fill on half the shares to cover here at the 326.60, and the rest I'm going to wait for it to get to around 325.50, and that's where I'll cover.
Wow,
Spencer QS through 25, absolute monster call this morning.
You know what's about to take out, or did it just take out its pre-market high? BlackBerry here. They had earnings this morning. Watch BB here. Pre-market high was hit right away. It was 1066, and that was the after hours high. Same thing, whatever. And we're right there right now.
And one more thing on that. So we recently had the 50 cross below the 200 on BlackBerry. Spencer, you want to throw my screen up here? I've got it charted out already. Yeah. We actually had the 50 cross beneath the 200 recently. This push up here is great. This is, if we close above both of these moving averages, that's definitely bullish. And what I'd like to see is this 50 come back through the 200 over the next several days here. So definitely a nice setup here on BlackBerry. If we continue to see some push, anything over 1134, I think we actually pop even more. Another good call out on BlackBerry.
1134. I'm looking at like 1060. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, 1066 is your day high. We need to take that out first. You're absolutely right.
I went ahead and got my fill for profit taking on Tesla, by the way, the 575. Thankfully, that one went ahead and hit. So congrats to y'all if you took that trade. Nothing crazy, but about 20%. UPST is still short on half of it, having covered. Like I said, about 325.50 is where I'll cover the rest of it.
Wow.
On that short there.
There really is some, and I know Chris and Mitch have discussed this in SPAC stack as there being a general trend, a pattern reemerging in the SPACs, but I'm looking at even more specific of just a lot of these EV stocks. And we had EV Con yesterday, but just like QS, right? But also look at Go EV today, GOEV.
Look at Ride.
Okay, fine. How's Ride doing?
I pulled up GEOV for you.
Wow, look at Ride. Heck, even Workhorse is flat. It's down 15 cents, but or down a penny. Sorry. Wait, what is that? I can't read. Whatever. The point is, EV stocks are for whatever reason catching bids. They're not. I think they're not sustainable bids, but they're catching.
It might be because they know we have a conference or we had a conference.
That ain't it.
That is it. Come on, we move markets.
we do. We move stocks. I don't think we move entire sectors.
We don't move sectors, not for sure. I'm just trying to.
Not yet.
By the way, Solar Up asked the question, as a gamer, what are your thoughts on Fans Unite? I didn't know what that company was, Solar, so I went in and looked it up. It looks like it's betting for esports is what it looks like. I'm big on betting. Obviously, for the job that I have with esports, I can't bet. But in terms of a sector, absolutely love it. Are you kidding me? People absolutely think about fans that'll continuously want to bet on their favorite gamer, their favorite player, whether it's COD, 2K, FIFA, Madden, Overwatch, League of Legends. I mean, I know there are platforms already there that allow you to bet, but I think we are just scratching the surface on esports gambling.
Here, Zunaid, I'm going to put a link.
So let's start with that. Let's dig in. I want to talk about you a little bit.
What are you doing, Spencer?
Sorry. No, I'm putting a link in the chat for we had Fans Unite on the channel last Friday. So I'm gonna queue it up for y'all. So I'm gonna put a link in the chat right now. It wasn't me. It was Michael talking to the CEO.
Oh, was this in the all access?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna find the exact spot. I'm gonna paste the link in the chat right there.
That would be lovely. Thank you.
Just looking to do that.
By the way, and you are rejected from that VWAP. So if you took that trade and you did not get stopped out like I did, by literally a penny, you went ahead and took some profits there, I hope, and now you kind of move your stop loss to break even. And good God, QS, great call out, man.
QS continues.
Yep. And look at the way it rode VWAP, at least on the 1 minute, right? Just in the first 3-4 minutes, it kind of ticked below, but after it broke above with volume, just nicely riding that VWAP all the way up from 24s to almost $26, almost a $2 move there.
I just put the link to our chat with the CEO of Fans Unite from last Friday. It's in the chat right there.
I'll definitely check that out. And yeah, Solar, check that out as well if you haven't already.
I'm pretty sure Solar was there. That's why he asked you about it.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan of any company. Obviously, I don't know their specific fundamentals, but any sector, any company that has to do with gambling and esports mixed in together, I'm a big fan. So yeah.
Now, whoever called out the airlines earlier, good call again. Both Dow, American Airlines, nice pushes today. American Airlines actually on the scanner here, pushing day highs. Yeah, high a day here, and the daily chart on Delta, pretty juicy. Looks pretty good. So good call out of whoever was on this early.
Wow,
was that Mitch?
Maybe. Yeah, probably. We guys, we have closed the gap in the SPY from Friday. We talked about that this morning on pre-market prep. We closed that gap. Remember how freaked and some of it was exaggeration, but we on Monday morning, I went, oh no, market's crash. Nope. Here we are 3 days later. We have closed the gap. We're back at Friday's low. We're back at Friday's low. We're unchanged. Whoever just pointed that out in the chat. Yeah, Thatter unchanged for the week. Unreal.
Oh man,
Jay Powell has our backs. Yeah, this is actually something that we were charting on the Happy Hour show pretty much all week, and last week. The thought here was that on SPY, if you look at the SPY chart that I have up, the daily chart, we pretty much just bounce off the 50-day moving average every time we come down to it this year. And with the exception of March of this year, we actually traded beneath it for 2 days. So now we actually traded beneath this for 4 days. If we continue to push up here, I look for us to trade back towards the 152 level.
SPY at resistance. I mean, it's at the 50-day. I mean, I don't know if I call that a resistance.
It's also the S&P cash is also at the resistance to pivot for the day. I don't know if that's perhaps that's what they're referring to.
Maybe.
Those are intraday indicators. So.
Real quick, UPST, it went ahead and hit the profit target level there, and it's bouncing right back to VWAP there. So if you wanted to, you can wait for it to fail VWAP and get back short, since the first trade worked out very well. I don't quite have a read on it yet. That is what I would do, but I'm going to look to maybe reshort it. It just depends. NVIDIA, by the way, 220, 250 area. I want to see it kind of reject there, come back, maybe to around VWAP, and then I can go long. But it's a little extended for me. But I want to at least put that on people's minds in case they were looking to trade that.
Just took out the pre-market highs on NVIDIA too.
Yeah.
Jay Towers, nice trade on Overstock. Glad we could bring it to your attention.
Yeah, Mitch was all over.
Yeah, that was
Nice
all
job
Mitch.
that you hit that.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Well, if Mitch were here, he would be able to.
I think Mitch just went back to get a refill on orange juice, is what it is, to be honest.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Jay Towers, what were you what was your entry and exit there? What kind of percentage were you trading on? That's an awesome
good question. That's always fun to know.
No, I'm looking for wins from our community. You know, we talk about our own trades here all the time. That's fine. I want to hear community wins. I want you guys out there.
All right, Mitch is back. Mitch, you just cost Jay Towers so much money on that overstock thing.
Well, I mean, the daily chart says it, you know.
I'm
just kidding.
My name is Money Mitch for a reason.
It was a good trade.
We've got Jason.
Nah, it is a good one. I missed it today also. I wanted it for a swing trade.
Let's pull up RBLX.
Mr. Roblox. Well, Unity's catching a bid this morning. Don't know what.
Yeah, you're in an option trade, but tell us a little bit more, right? Like, tell us when it expires, what strike you have, and what your entry was. That way, we have a gauge of.
Right, like if that option that you're in expires, what's today? Thursday, right? If it expires tomorrow, then like you're kind of SOL, right?
Yeah, it just depends on what you're looking to do here.
Exactly. I mean, when you're talking options, if you don't give expiration and where the strike price is,
okay. So Jay Towers on that overstock trade, he bought the 76 calls at 450 and sold them at 550. Very nice.
Oh, cool. Very good. Awesome. Expiration 24. Cool. Now tell us the strike and tell us your cost.
Right.
Help us out. We always will want those three information.
I'll say this at Roblox for Roblox. It's at the 50-day right now, or actually it's above it. I think technically it's
slightly above or poked above.
So, and if you take a look at the daily on Roblox, you can really kind of see that it was call sellers that have been winning recently. This thing has been trading sideways, really hasn't made any type of outsized move. So Jason, you're in the money, right? You're 40%. You're in the money. I would look to close that today, probably, right? You said it's going to expire tomorrow. You're up 40% on it. I'm assuming you don't want to take possession of stock by having that exercise. So I would look for your intraday exit trigger today. So far, Roblox looks like it's pretty strong. We're actually above day highs here. We had a nice big volume print off of one of the day lows. So, I mean, to me, my big thing here is if you're up on that, don't give that away. Don't let that dissipate. And the reality is you have a contract that expires tomorrow. You're right near the actual strike price. So just don't let that profit dissipate. Keep it in your pocket.
Yeah. And I would even say maybe like below VWAP, get out, but that's almost 70 cents lower. And I don't know exactly how much that would impact your 40% profit. So if you got a small account, all that stuff, go ahead and ring the register, go cha-ching and see if we can find another setup, maybe a little longer. Outdated one. And that's something else you can do with Roblox too, right? Like you can go ahead and ring the register here and maybe say, for example, if you made $500, ring the register, you profit 500, then you can risk 200 on a contract that's maybe 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out. That way you're giving yourself more time if you still believe in the move.
And I do that often. I use that strategy often, right? Sold and rolled, right? So sell the contract that you have that's about to expire, buy a contract that's further out, maybe a higher strike price, keep some of the premium in your pocket. So that's banked. Now you're actually playing with house money on the second leg of your trade. That's how you manage your risk in order to make sure that over the long run you stay profitable. Is Roblox going to continue to trade above 82? I don't know, but let's play the odds. The one thing that I stay on Roblox, I'm almost done here. I actually like this long term. So the problem is I don't know when it's going to take its next move up. So if I were going to trade that for that, I would want to use stock and not options. If you're in options, make sure you use risk, your risk management to control.
FOMO over here, it's hitting me hard. I wanted to get in onto this big mover, AMHC, but I didn't want to like call it out because I know it's high risk here. but I did want to look for a 1350 entry. Was watching the level 2s because you saw 3 stacked orders at 330, 325, and 320. And so I was looking for the volume to come in. And when it came in really fast. It popped up on the asked 1355. So I wasn't able to get my 1350 fill. I'm looking for a pullback now, but I usually like to get in here and see the pullback come close to my entry and then expand from that, not go after the entry here because it's on the downside, not the upside, right? And so it's a little bit questioning now to get to 1350s, but I would want to see it get back above VWAP and then hold VWAP. That could be the next trade. We'll see what happens here. AMHC. And look, I'm going to look back at pre-market so you can see what kind of move this did in pre-market. Watch this. Boom! All the way up to 2050 from 1360s right now. So, I mean, we're talking about a pullback of 33%. Just giving it a shot for maybe a day trade, but hey, we'll see what happens here.
Spencer is hot.
Yeah, the tire market is trading up here. We're above that R2 pivot resistance on SPY, and the Qs are also green, pushing up to R1 pivot. Rippy.
Yeah, BlackBerry, when Spencer called it out, when I took a look at the chart, it was around 1056. Now it's at 1080. Ooh. So shout out to Spencer for giving out ideas.
Mitch, I'm wondering, do you have any insight into ARQQ? This is a former spec, ARQQ, Arctic Quantum. This thing has been on a monster run recently. I have no position. I didn't trade it, but I'm trying to get an understanding of what's going on here. I also noticed that as of yesterday, the warrants were seemingly not priced correctly, but I haven't been able to go through the SEC filings and figure out what the structure is on that. So I'm just wondering if you had any insight on that.
You've seen the SPAC play that's happening. It's not just specific stocks. It's not even the stories of these stocks that are moving it. It's simply mechanics of the markets. And this is why I, of course, definitely come to SPACs Attack to learn a lot about that. We talk about how the floats change and how a small amount of volume, especially if you get towards a low float stock, and we're talking low float, like even like less than 10 million shares traded. Well, then, of course, you get any kind of pop on those kind of stocks, you're going to start seeing them get a little lift, especially when the liquidity is going from high liquidity to low liquidity. And then there's that slight manipulation to the upside. Boom, you get a rocket instead of just a slight move up. That's what's been happening to a lot of these. Good example is EFTR. Good example is OPAD. There's so many of these you can look at. The first one that started this move really was SoFi, though. Just to give you guys a heads up, that was the first one that really started doing that kind of move. And ever since then, we've been having a couple of these make these spikes. But as you can see, a lot of them come back down also. So.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm wondering here on ARQQ, right? Like, I mean, this has just been monster green candles one after another. So we're definitely due for a pullback here. But I'm just wondering, I'm kind of wondering where can we actually base here and take the next leg up. So anyway, thanks for the insight.
Yeah, I mean, look at these. Look at the OPAD chart. Look at this one. I actually called this one when we rocketed on that day, that Thursday. So this is exactly what you see a lot of times, that big push up, but then it quickly right back down.
All right, it is 10:08. Time flies when you're having fun. I do want to do a real quick crypto update if we can. I just want to start off by saying what a turnaround yesterday for crypto. Our heat map was all in the red when I looked yesterday morning, and when I looked again in the afternoon, it was all in the green. So a nice intraday turnaround yesterday for all the biggest cryptos. You see there on the left there, the biggest cryptos all in the red over the last 24 hours. But intraday yesterday was a very nice rally. Bitcoin trading at futures are at 44,130. Bitcoin itself is at 47,518 right now. I know Mitch always complains that these cryptos never trade technically, but I kind of think that's the only way to trade them. Yeah. Or just don't trade them. Actually, that's what I do. I don't trade them. I just buy and hold them. I've never actually sold any crypto. I've only ever
There's
bought.
no there's no
Why would
way.
you sell it?
Why would I sell it?
Yeah,
if
I'm with you, Spencer. Spencer, I'm with you. I've only bought crypto. I've never sold any of my crypto.
Yeah,
ever.
and that's the thing with like everyone. I'm sure that I'm sure there are people out there that make a living trading crypto, but like the vast majority of people, I think, are probably like me and you, and they're just never selling. So it's like, what's the point of asking us our opinion if we're never going to sell anyway?
Well, I mean, eventually, I'd like to see this. I'm in this for the long run, right? I have a very long-term view on this. So day-to-day movements, even if they're 10, 20K, are not going to be what causes me to actually take gains on this. I'm looking for an outsized move. And when I say outsized move, I mean like generational outsized move. 20, 50x the initial investment over a number of years. I'm not worried. When I'm going for the 10x, 15, the kind of the bigger plays, I'm going to do that with the stocks. With the slightly smaller gains. I'm going to do that with stocks, but with some of these longer, this is brand new technology that I definitely believe in. I absolutely have a long bias to it. To your point about the technicals, we really needed to hold 40,000, and we did. 41,400 would be a more specific line. That was former resistance, which is now support. I actually like seeing this, right? We're trading back above the moving averages. We just made a run up. We're kind of back testing that support level before the next leg up. We're currently in a nice uptrend. To me, this wasn't bad at all. I want to see some of this. So let's see where crypto goes.
Yeah, as a reminder, the crypto updates are brought to you by Voyager. You can get $50 in Bitcoin for free. All you have to do is download the Voyager app, deposit at least $100, make your first trade, and use the code ZING. It's up on the screen, ZING, with over 60 assets to choose from, and annual yield earnings of up to 12%. Voyager is your launch pad into the world of crypto. And now back to the stonks.
There's no way Mitch thinks crypto doesn't trade on technical.
Sorry, I was looking at the crypto chart.
That's what he said.
100.
Spencer's like, back to stocks.
And 50%, Zunaid.
You're out of your mind, respectfully. Come on.
Bro, you're talking to a person that's studying CMT.
There's no way you can
I'm
tell.
telling you, it does not trade off technical.
I got to get my laptop charger. We will continue this conversation. I'll be right back in 30 seconds.
We can do this all day.
All right, Zunaid's going to be right back.
Mitch is unfazed right now, just not even worried. Shout out to Hex Pony. Sava is on the move. This is having a real strong morning here. I actually had a really strong pre-market yesterday. Immediately bled the gains back down to the lows here. We're able to hold 50. We're trading above 55 now. Let's see if we can bring this back up towards 60 here. I'm not sure what to make.
He's waving. He's like, bring me on. Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach.
Look, I'm a very respectful person. And I love the fact that you're getting your CMT. But there are other people who've already gotten their CMTs that make a living off of crypto trading in technicals. Trading is all like what behaviors of algos and behaviors of what people are going to do and react to support levels and things like that. I love this duo camera that we have. So you're telling me that just doesn't apply to Bitcoin, to cryptos? It applies to futures. It applies to options. It applies to stocks. It applies to bonds. It applies to all those things. But it doesn't apply to crypto.
This is the problem, right? Is that the problem with a unregulated market is that you don't know how it really works, right? Like, you can tell me you kind of understand how crypto works, the blockchain, where the liquidity is, who are the big fish. Really, that's the problem here. I think really what happens is when I've done technical levels on cryptos, they very rarely, and we can backtest this, we could use backtesting things. It just doesn't hold. The patterns aren't there. Maybe longer term, maybe like monthly, weeklies, I've seen a little bit better hold. But if we're going to go into like how day traders trade,
so hold on. If the monthlies and all those things they're holding, then that's technical. Those are support levels that are being held.
Somewhat, but we know how that works, right? It's a self-fulfilling thing kind of there.
That's exactly what I'm saying. But trading behaviors is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and that applies to all markets, including crypto.
But if they don't hold the majority of the time, then that's when I start telling me that you can't trade off of technicals. Because this is the thing that I see.
It's the support being broken. Hold on. I don't know if you have the thing that I see.
This is the thing that I see often on crypto, right? Is that what happens on crypto is that people say that it only trades technically, right?
Oh,
And
no
so,
one's saying. Yeah, I'm not saying it only. I'm saying.
I mean, that's
saying that
just
it's
what
not
the
is
biggest
absurd.
crypto guys out there. That's what they preach.
Look,
that
share
it's
my
purely
screen if you
technicals.
can.
Hold on, I want to take a trade too while we debate.
So here's my screen, right? You're telling me that this support area here is not technical? Like, come on. And this is, by the way, the daily. So the bounce off of this level, which is around the $30,000, right? Again, psychological numbers, right? 10,000, 5,000, 20,000, 50,000, whatever. You're going to tell me these bounces are not technical? You think this support was not technical? Like, come on.
Give me 1 second. I put a trade on.
You know what he did?
I'm just going to shout out Solar.
He put a trade.
Solar, great comment. This is like arguing with my lady. Only half sentences allowed. Oh, that's hilarious. Relatable.
Love it.
Relatable.
Love it.
I think we can all relate to that comment.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, I am long AMHC, guys, the big mover of the day. I'm taking a shot here.
He's
Yeah,
back.
there you
In
go,
his,
deflect.
back
There
in
you
SPAC
go,
land.
deflect.
He can't quit. He can't quit SPACs.
I can't quit it. I can't quit it, guys. So here's my entry. Let me actually make it a square here.
This is better than the presidential debate. I would hope.
Hey, as long as there's no fly on my head, I'm okay. If you get the
All right,
reference,
guys.
shout
So
out to
I
you.
just took this trade. This is really literally a day trade. I would never even swing trade this stock, but I got an average cost of 13.47 here. Going to risk down towards 13.29 with a stop there, stop limit, because I don't use stops. But we'll limit out there at 13.29 if it comes down. My look is for this to immediately get above VWAP and then hold it. That will show me confirmation. A lot of times we ask, what's confirmation? Confirmation is the pattern really confirming here, getting back above VWAP and then holding into a bullish sense. Right now, what does VWAP a lot of the time represent? It represents a bearish pattern right now, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking actually for a reversal. So a lot of times, like I even mentioned this earlier for Zunaid, I look for those 3 bottoming actions. So 1, 2, 3. Now I want that bottoming action to hold here. If it breaks through 13.24, we get out and we take the loss. But if it comes back up, I could definitely see this stock to start ripping, and then next thing you know, it's up to 15.50.
All right. Well, look, I gotta get going here in a minute. But look, let me go and have my 60 seconds. There's no way you're telling me. Yeah, okay. let me pull up my charts. Pull up my charts.
Okay.
All right, here we go. You're not. There's no way you're telling me here. Back in the 2021, those are the support levels at 30,000, and then again, same support level here, and then again, you have a failed breakout here and resistance at 60,000. There's no way you're telling me that's not technical. Like, come on.
I got you.
Come on.
Give me a second here.
You know what? Here's what we're going to do. If you're spamming a chat, 1, if you believe crypto is traded off of technicals, and spam 2 if you believe it's not.
Can I just play peacemaker here? I think I think you guys actually do agree with each other. You just don't realize it, because you both said that they don't trade entirely off technicals, and I think that's the point.
Mitch said they don't trade off technicals.
Okay, fine, whatever. You can just ignore me. That's whatever.
But look, I got to bounce. It's been a pleasure trading with you guys. We're back on tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah, we are back on tomorrow. Zunaid, I heard from an inside source you're going to get to go on the floor of the NYSE today.
Yes, I'm actually Peter, who we saw earlier stuck in traffic. I'm actually going to meet up with him. He was generous enough to give me a tour of the NYSE, so I'm excited. I might actually pull out a phone and buy a share just so I can be like, yeah, I traded on the floor back in the day.
Don't get in trouble now, Zunaid.
Yeah,
you get a fine.
Don't get in trouble. Don't touch anybody. Don't bump into anybody. Wear your mask.
I will make sure not to meet the governor of the trading floor.
Don't look anyone in the eye. Don't look anyone in the eye, and don't heckle Kramer.
I won't.
Or do. Actually, not maybe.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I want to check out the NYSE, and maybe later on next week or whenever I come back, I want to check out the NASDAQ, where all the shows and all.
I've never actually been to the NASDAQ. I mean, it's mostly just a studio, but I've never really been there. So
yeah, and I assume that's where Kramer and Halftime and all that is filmed. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, I got to bounce, look pretty, shave, make
All
sure
right.
I try to fit in at least. So I'll see you guys later.
Have
Bye.
fun. We'll see you tomorrow.
Later, Ned.
All right, it's 10:19. We got 10 minutes before Tony is going to hop on and do some patterns. So let's see if I can find a third breakout today. So BlackBerry is almost at 11.
Can I go over something real quick, Spencer,
yeah.
while you're taking a look?
Yes.
So while Mitch and Zunaid were punching each other in the face over crypto argument, I was watching Arnaz set up here on a trade, and you can see there was definitely some volume here. This was nasty. This is one of the things that makes day trading very, very difficult. This candle right here, this was the trade. This happened all within a minute. It actually happened a lot quicker than that. The spot here was 415. There was a gigantic seller here offering like 80,000 shares, I think even more than that. Huge seller here at 415. It took 2 shots to take that wall down. They pushed up into it. They took about 40% of it, pulled about 4 or 5 cents, pushed back up into that 415 level, and they cleared it out. When they cleared it out, this thing popped from 415. We had a high print here of 440. I hit sell at 432. When I saw the price at 432, I used a market order, a flatten now market order at 432, and I was filled at 417. This moved so fast. I'm not sure I could have done anything different other than preemptively trying to hit sell to get that to get that bill. It was just it was amazing. They took this out. It popped. The exact pattern that I look for every single day materialized. It wasn't even 3 seconds before it was back below 415. I couldn't get out for more than 2 cents. Just absolute craziness.
When dealing with those biotechs, you got to be careful with those dark pool orderings. I think that's what you might have run into here, Ryan. If anybody has dark pool data, please let us know. But there had to have been some orders that were lined up there.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely was, right? So it was right above the break, Mitch, right? So let me go back to that. I wanted to flip to MRM because we were being asked about it here in the chat. But it was right above that break, right? As soon as they broke, the huge volume poured in. I can't tell you if it was dark pool or not. I mean, that's just an order from across the pond. But to me, I mean, the price movement is so fast. It is so. I don't know what I could have done differently. I had a winner in my pocket, and I got 2 cents out of it. And you know, that's just part of the game. I'm not pissed. I mean, I probably would be a lot more mad if I actually ended up taking a loss on it. But the reality is that some of these things just move really, really quickly. That was nasty.
Yeah. So MRM, to who's asking about this again? Jesse. This is such a small stock.
The float's ridiculous.
Yesterday it traded. No, let's go 2 days ago. It traded not even 9,000 shares all day. We've already traded 27.5 million today. So this is a company smaller than Benzinga. Yeah, I mean there is a cat. So okay, so they're buying someone, right? So they're buying someone for $3.36 million, and that's worth. Yeah, you gotta just trade this one like on levels from the open and the high. That's what you're watching, the open and the high and the pre-market high and the pre-market low. And that's all you can really do here. So I don't know what to say about this.
I'm not laughing about that, but I'm laughing about Solar in the chat. He's like, till rate. Oh, dang. That was supposed to be in the charts. I was just trying to pull up till rate.
That happens to me all the time.
I do want to call you all's attention to Salesforce. This is a stock that's been on my shopping list or like watch list for a very, very long time. I never bought it. It for whatever reason, it got outshone. There's a lot of tech stocks that are doing way better than Salesforce. It was underperforming its peers for a very long time. They raised their guidance today, and I'm calling it out because it looks like it wants to go now. We are close to the all-time high. The all-time high was back last September, a year ago. There was 281, right? And we've got a couple of highs in this 273, 275 ballpark, right? So I've been waiting for this to go. I like it. I've wanted to buy it. I didn't want. It was lagging the sector, the software sector, for a very long time. So I didn't do anything with it. But now that it looks like it wants to break, it is breaking out this morning. And now that it looks like it wants to get to a new all-time high, I'm more interested. So you could say I'm chasing. If I bought it, you could call me a chaser. That's fair. But if it can get to that 280 level from last September, then maybe Salesforce finally does break out. It's been such a laggard when compared to some of the other stocks in this sector. And
284.50 is that all-time high. 284.50 is what it's going to have to break to build above that. I
mean, just look at Salesforce in the last year and change, right? It's flat. I guess there are worse things than flat, but
yeah. This is one that I actually tried to call out early June, but I got stopped out in this one, Spencer. I liked it when it broke this trend line in June, when it had that first spike right here. This is when their earnings kind of came out, and then it kind of popped up, but then it came right back down to the close and then started pushing back up. It's a little choppy. That's the problem with this one. It's hard to stay in it. You have to give yourself a little bit more room in this one.
And Jay Rice, maybe Jay Rice is right. Maybe I'm just wrong. What we always say all the time: don't chase. Fade. Sell rips, buy dips. But that doesn't always apply. Yeah. And I'm saying maybe from not for a trade, but maybe for like a longer term swing. I'm interested potentially in Salesforce. Let me just say this: I'm watching it closely once again. It's been on my radar for a long time. I think it's an amazing business. It's an amazing business. Longer term swing, 3 to 4 or 5 months. This is high on my radar. That's all I'm saying.
All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping up here. Just call out. I did get in GAN, guys. That one's not doing too bad, but I called it out from the beginning. It was going to be a swing trade versus a day trade. I did take my day trade of the day. Got stopped out, but guess what? I lost like $5 on that name. I'll go ahead and I'll take it. That's why you got to know where your out plan is. And if it hits, it's not a losing trade. It's a stop out. This is where I sometimes
wait. I thought you don't use stops. I'm confused.
It's a stop limit, but we can get into the technicals there. But
fine.
That's just because I don't have my order execution up. Now it would just be a limit.
Okay.
But stop limits is completely different there. But OSTK, that one I definitely want to point out. Beautiful, beautiful daily chart. Really starting to get up there. Day 2 move today. Was already looking at this one yesterday. Now starting to really lift on up, holding that 75.56 in the pre-market. You could have seen that 15-minute support holding sideways. What does it do? It opens up, comes right back to it, bounces off that, and rips through the resistance. I'll keep this one on watch. I have a feeling this one's trying to head back towards that $100 price point. We'll see if it gets on through there. OSTK definitely on my radar. Nice move today. And GAN was the one that I took the swing on. I have 1550s, and I'm just going to hold towards the bottom right here, down towards 15. We'll see if we can get this back up towards 16. I have made a 30% gainer on GAN earlier in the year. I'm going to look to make another 20% on this trade.
QS new highs.
Boom, boom.
Wow, really? Yeah, look at that.
Monster call, Spencer.
I'll be damned.
Monster call.
A broken clock is right twice a day. Is that what they say?
That is what they said.
All right. Ryan, what are your final thoughts here as we wrap?
I'm just going to watch your amazing call here probably for the rest of the day and just bask in its magnificence. Call. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to watch the general market. I mean, we gapped up pretty high here. We actually pushed on pretty much all the indexes. What I want to see is if we hold this, right? I want to make sure that we don't just kind of bleed these gains back all the way down throughout the rest of the afternoon here. I am going to, all jokes aside, I am going to watch QS and see what kind of action it gives. BlackBerry here, which is one that we've talked about quite a bit before. This is actually starting to set up. Looks like it's trying to take out 11. So I want to watch some of these stocks, kind of set myself up for tomorrow.
I said off the top I'd be watching DraftKings. That was a bad call because I thought maybe DraftKings would be in for some weakness off the open, but I stand corrected on that front because DraftKings is up today. So I thought maybe you get a pretty well known activist / short seller out negative on your stock, but nope, DKNG up 1.5% today. So There you go on that.
Just want to point out, Kathy went buying yesterday.
She buys every. She buys
She
every.
bought last time there was a short report on DKNG. Let's see if she buys today.
True. Let me make sure I got. Yeah, I mentioned the Nike report tonight. I think that was it for like upcoming catalysts. And now that we're past the Fed from yesterday, that was kind of the big thing for the week. I'm trying to think. Are there any big IPOs today? We had Toast yesterday. Did you guys see the Toast IPO? This is classic. I think this is a classic IPO because like the headlines are all, oh, Toast pops on IPO because it popped on the open because the IPO price was $40 and it opened at what, 65, right? But then the high of the day was 65. Right?
Yep.
99. So
Spencer, just on that note, I'm so frustrated when they say that. When they open, when you don't participate in the IPO and it opens at the top and then sells off and then they bill it on TV like it soared and it popped. It's like, no, it didn't actually do that unless you were part of the IPO. One more thing, Spencer, Costco reports their earnings after market stuff.
See, that's what happens when I don't check my Benzinga report. Earnings calendar is
I got your back. There's a team,
I don't see
back.
these things. Let's go into earnings here. Let's go to the calendar. I'm there right now. Let's zoom in. Let's make it bigger so we can all see here. Darden was this morning. We had Nike, Costco tonight, and that's all that I care about.
And then AEHR has been a day trader recently. It'd be interesting to see what happens there.
Really?
Yeah. There's been a lot. I mean, that's been popping on the scanner pretty much the whole week, right? Yeah, definitely. I mean, look at the run that this thing has been on recently.
Ooh.
I got multiple levels, price levels charted for this. I don't know, Spencer, I'm not sure if the earnings are going to mean anything. I'm just saying that I know that this has been heavily traded by a lot of the day traders, a lot of our chat members as well. Get in that day trading room, check it out, see what makes it awesome. All
right, guys, the best way you can support us is by hitting that thumbs up on your screen. We appreciate that. Ryan Faloona, Mitch Hoch. I'll see Mitch in a half hour on SPACs. Ryan, we'll see you tomorrow, sir. Have a good rest of your day and stay green.
You too.
All right, guys, let's bring on Tony Benson. Let's talk some patterns. Tony's always looking at I like Tony because he's looking at charts, but he's looking at not necessarily stocks that I'm gonna buy. It's stocks that I'm gonna buy or sell if this happens or if that happens, right? It's always if then. So Tony, good morning, sir. How are we doing?
Good morning. Good. How are you?
Doing well. Bring up your charts for us so we can get a look at what you're watching here. And I'm curious what stocks are on your radar.
Well,
yes, scroll up in the chat. I totally agree with you. I also think Toast is a great company. Say nothing bad about the company, but the IPO pop was annoying. But Toast also LSPD. Wait, LSPD is the same business as Toast. So if you're going to trade TOST, trade LSPD with it. All right, we got some charts up. What do we got here, Tony?
Well, I noticed you guys were talking about QS, which I was watching this morning and missed it. Up in the upper left corner there.
So what did you see this morning in QS? Why were you watching in the first place?
Well, I was looking at. I mean, realistically, there's a little bit of a head and shoulders, which is a reversal pattern, right? But the downtrend, as you can see, the downtrend line. I figured if it popped above there, then it would negate that and possibly take off. So, of course, I set up a trading plan and watched it, and there's a little imbalance. It came up and hit that 2409 entry point, and then but there was a whole bunch of sells at 2410. So I waited for a little bit, and then about 2 or 3 minutes later, it popped and ran right through it, right through the 2409 before I got an order put in. So, and then of course, I wish I would have tagged it at 2419, but then it breaks my rules, so I left it alone and missed this beautiful run. But tis what it is.
I love that you're always talking about your plan, man. You're always trading your plan. You have a plan for everything, which I think is great.
I've learned the hard way that it's not good not to have a plan.
Yeah.
And when you deviate from the plan, it's not always good. Sometimes I do, but for the most part, basically stick to the plan. Part of the reason that came up on a swing trade watch list as well, which here's a daily chart. And this is what I was looking for here. Because we had a nice little double bottom on this on an end-of-day daily chart. Nice little double bottom. It came up and challenged us 23 to about 23.80 or so, $24 level. and figured if it breaks above there, if it moves higher with that big volume spike we had the other day, figured it may run all the way to 30. So possibly we'll see what it does today. If it pulls back a little bit, my plan is an entry point at 25.11. Of course, obviously it's busted right through that.
Yeah.
So if it pulls back, I don't know if it's going to pull that far back. I almost pulled the trigger on it, but I figured if it's going to run, it's going to run. If it goes without me, it is what it is. It's not the first time. It won't be the last. So,
and I love that you're okay with not catching every boat, not catching every trade.
Well, it doesn't always feel good, but the woulda, coulda, shoulda syndrome is a dangerous one.
Yeah.
The hard part is not letting missing this allow me to jump into another trade. In other words, it's because we all have those memories, right? Where the one we missed. So the next time a trade comes up that looks like it,
yeah,
you got to make sure that doesn't work on your mind and make you jump into something you shouldn't be in. So
yeah, that's right.
That's the tough part. Like Western Digital down here in the bottom right corner. Make that big here. There's another one that nice little bombing pattern. You could call it an inverted head and shoulders. It's maybe a stretch, but looking at this with the market being up this morning, I figured if it popped above 57.01, then we may run higher up to 57.88. So just threw a plan on there. The highs there are 57. Put a stop in at what's that, 56.90. Target up there at 57.88. So, but it ran pretty quick. And another one that I was waiting for and didn't get on that. I've learned to be patient. This GDS one here, these are all the day trades I'm looking at, watching at least. NIO as well, but GDS is a good looking head and shoulders. With a big pop yesterday, lots of momentum, but then we've got the head and shoulders. So if it breaks down and it breaks this neckline, then I'll be looking for a downside move. And we'll see how this market keeps up. If it stays up, or if it starts to sell off today, we'll see. I don't know.
Tony, at what point do you take stocks off? Like, do you just reset every day? Or will you because last week, was it last week that I wrote down? I think no, a couple weeks ago I wrote down Apple from you, and I wrote down like Airbnb. At what point do you just like take them off your radar and just move on?
When the pattern is completely negated.
Okay.
If it's no longer valid, it either breaks the pattern, or in this case here with let's use GDS example since it's on the screen. We got the head and shoulders. If it bounces here at the neckline and it takes off and moves back to the upside, and it breaks above this high, and then it breaks above the head, then there's no longer a head and shoulders there.
Okay.
So as long as the pattern is there and developing and forming, I'll keep it on the radar. So for the most part, though, I mean, I know that was a funny question last week. How quickly do I get a headache when flipping through charts? But it's just like if I handed you a stack of 200 flashcards with, simple math things on it, it wouldn't take you long. It wouldn't bother you at all, right?
You're right. And
once you train your eyes to see the pattern, it's just natural, right? You don't even think about it. You just flip through a list and you just see them or you don't. So it's and that's really when it comes to the two styles of trading. I've got swing trading, which I've got a list here. I just have a very simple watch list, 224 charts. I just filter through those, look for patterns, and drop them down to a list and get it smaller and smaller, essentially. So it's just the first look is a very quick look, and then I dig into them deeper, looking for more information. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So,
all right,
let's
do some questions from the chat here. Let's just try to go chronological order if I can. What about, okay, Rich is asking for AMC and SoFi for swing trades.
AMC and SoFi, let's see.
AMC just continues to, every time I think it's over, it's not. So like,
get rid of those. Oh yeah, AMC's. Yeah, this is one, personally, I wouldn't swing trade this.
Okay.
Just because you never know what's going to happen the next day, right? Day trading, I did day trade it last week once if there's a nice little pattern going on. But if swing trading. This is one I actually highlighted on my pattern of the week that I did a couple weeks ago with the evening star right here, which played out beautifully, right? It's a reversal pattern. So we drop, we hit right at 50, nice round number of 50, evening star, candlestick pattern, and boom, it drops for 5 days from, what's that, 46 to 38. So nice little move. So there's a beautiful pattern there. But right now there's not, I mean, as far as patterns go, not a whole lot. There's a little bit of support here at that 37, which it bounced at. Where's it at right now?
It's at sorry, I was looking at it, looking at a different stock. It's at 40.41.
It's somewhere on here, but it's basically flat, huh?
Yeah.
Up 36 cents.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't see anything from a swing trade perspective, but on a 5-minute chart, oh come on, mouse is being goofy on me. There's a inverted head and shoulders there. I don't know how to squeeze this down. It's hard to see with all that volume stuff there. But I don't know if you can see that or not. But I mean, it's been dropping right and lower, a little bit of a head there. It's not beautiful, but rarely are patterns beautiful, right? The way we see them in the textbook. So,
okay, and then what about?
Oh, SoFi.
Yeah,
that was another one. Yeah, AMC's a tricky one. Whoa, there we go. Get rid of that. Ooh, that popped big time yesterday. Obviously, this is one I've seen and watched before. You can see I already have a plan in place. In fact, that vertical line is usually one. Yeah, there was a double bottom back here. I highlighted this on the pattern of the week that I do inside my patterns in the flash tool. But that obviously didn't pan out, but then it built a nice little base. Was there news that created this big pop? I'm wondering.
On SoFi?
Yeah, I'm assuming there was.
Oh man, I you know what? I should know this because I own the stock, but I don't look at it because I own the stock, so I tend to ignore whatever it's doing.
Yeah, I'll only look at news when it pops up, and I need to know what the catalyst was for why it moved so big yesterday.
Yesterday we got an upgrade from Jefferies, I guess $25 price target. Yeah, that could do it. That could do it.
Yeah, I guess.
I could do it. I guess. I guess.
I mean,
I guess.
Yeah. I don't pay real close attention to what analysts say, but at the same time,
but you know what? But you know what? They can move stocks. So
yeah, exactly. The ones that move are the ones that you pay attention to. But
right.
But from a technical perspective, yeah, I mean, with the big momentum that we had yesterday, but it's not. It's basically flat today, isn't it? It's up just a tiny bit. Yeah, it's up 17-18%.
Yeah.
So that's still. I mean, it's a 1701. So at least the trading plan that I had in place, I would just keep that in play.
Okay. Is it still worth having Apple on my radar from Cypher or DMG? Apple.
Ooh. Of course, the ultimate question is for what kind of trade? Bullish, bearish? I'm assuming bullish.
Assuming bullish. I don't know the time frame. Cypher, help us out with that.
Well, from a pattern perspective, there's not much. I mean, depending on we're at the beginnings of a head and shoulders pattern. And we've got a left shoulder formed ahead. If this thing runs up to 150 and rolls over, then we'd have a head and shoulders, obviously. But that could take a little while to develop. If it breaks above 150, I'd get bullish on it. But from right here, it's right in the middle of this little tiny range that there is. So I'm not terribly excited about anything bullish right now on Apple. If it pulled back to this 143 area and started to bounce, then I'd be looking at possibly a bullish with a tight stop. Or if it breaks above that 149 area, breaks above 150, then it may have some more upside to run. So, but if it comes back up to 150 and rolls over, I don't know if there's no drawing tools on here, are there?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see it. But if it rolls back and it rolls over at 150, then we have a head and shoulders, which is obviously a bearish reversal pattern, which with how much Apple's run wouldn't be a surprise. So, but that's, like I say, that may take a while. So,
all right, there's a question from Katrina regarding Costco. So while Tony's going to look at the Costco chart, and while Tony's doing that, Katrina, I'll tell you what I would do if I was looking at Costco today. First thing I would do is I would look at the recent earnings reports from BJ's and Kroger, and I'm looking for two things. I'm looking for, one, the stock's reaction to those reports, and two, I would try to find the press release, or not the press release. Well, yeah, the press release or the conference call transcript if I could, and I would just do a Control F for the words like inflation or supply chain or increased costs, because I would want to see, those are Costco's two closest peers, right? Kroger and BJ's, and actually, I would do Walmart too. And actually, no, I'll do Walmart and Target. So Kroger, Walmart, Target, and BJ's, and I would look at to see those recent earnings reports. How did the stock react, and then go to see what the company said about increased costs, because whatever they said, Costco will probably also say. The second thing I would do, Katrina, is I will tell you, and I've put up a platform here that I have called Market Chameleon, and I will tell you that if you go back the last 3 years in Costco as it relates to earnings, there is a 2 out of 3 chance that Costco is trading higher in the 2 days after its report. There is a 2 out of 3 chance that Costco is trading higher in the 3 days after its report. There is a 3 out of 4 chance that Costco is trading higher a week after its report. And then there's also a 2 out of 3 chance that it's trading higher 2 weeks after its report. So more often than not, Costco does trade higher after its earnings report. I'm not talking about the day after. I'm talking 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, and 2 weeks after. So more often than not, it does go up as the market digests Costco earnings. Now, all that being said, Tony, what does the chart show you?
Honestly, not a lot. I mean, from a pattern perspective, there's not much here. Unless, I mean, if it pops back up to 460, there'd be a little tiny head and shoulders, but I don't, the little patterns that aren't really well defined, I usually skip over them. Okay. So I don't see a lot here with Costco, other than the fact that it's been obviously super bullish.
Yep.
And taken off. There's a little bit, like I said, the beginnings of a head and shoulders, but it hasn't really fully developed yet, and it wouldn't be that big of one anyway. So, I mean, it offered about a 20-point move. If I drew the neckline right here, which is a little bit of a stretch, but then, I mean, obviously a $250 stock, 20 points is not that much, 15, 18 points. So this is what we'd be looking at. So, and yes, I do know I have drawings. I don't know if the platform has drawings. So whoever commented about the drawing thing, that was kind of funny. So yeah, there's not, I think the downside is probably higher than the upside on this. So I'm not terribly excited about a bullish trade on Costco, and I wouldn't take anything bearish until it gave me some clear signal.
Okay.
So on Costco, I would just hang on. I mean, I wouldn't do anything with it right now from a trading perspective.
Any other tickers for Tony? Drop them in, and we'll hang out with him for the next 13 minutes or so. Thoughts on ATOS?
Yeah, there was another one I saw in there too. What was it?
This is a little bit off the board here. It's a low float, I think.
Atosa Genetics.
I think it's got a low float. Let me hold on.
Yeah, woo.
No, not that low a float, but just not a super heavily traded stock.
I'm assuming that's a reverse split, a couple of reverse splits, which
depends how far
not usually a good thing.
I don't think anyone in ATOS is looking at a monthly chart. Maybe maybe they are. I don't know. This thing was at $9.
Probably not.
This thing was at $9 back in June. It's $3 now.
Yeah. I like to go back and look at the entire history.
Yeah.
Just in case there's something back there, because eventually you do a trade and you look at 2 years of history, and then you do a trade and then you get stopped out and take a loss, and then you go back and see 10 years ago there's a massive support or resistance there.
Yeah.
So considering it's a couple keystrokes and it's pretty easy, usually just.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair. You got me there. But nothing. All right. Yeah. Okay.
What's that?
Nothing.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot here. I mean, it's in a short-term uptrend. obviously something, I don't know what this is here, but I mean, it's bullish longer term. I mean, intermediate term over the last 6 or 7 months, whether it runs back up to 9 obviously remains to be seen, but no dramatic patterns, nothing that I see that's a huge catalyst to get into it. Unless if you know something about the stock that, you know, gives you a reason to get in.
Chip wants to know if you've noticed NVIDIA. It's hard not to, but
if I've noticed NVIDIA?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was I was looking at it yesterday on my swing trades list. You can see I've got a few drawings on there, so yeah, I've noticed it. Beautiful symmetrical triangle. This is one reason I love patterns. Is this thing formed a, let me make it big. It's a little easier to see. Nice uptrend, nice little symmetrical triangle, just a pause pattern. Then it breaks out of the upper line and of course takes off. So at about 29 bucks of potential, it didn't quite get there, but the target I had was 228, entry point at 210. So that's 18 points in just about a week and a half. So the question is, will it, and then it comes back, and this did a nice, perfect little roll reversal right here. So the old resistance level becomes new support, as you know, right? It's pretty basic charting stuff, but
resistance, new support.
So yeah, it bounced right there and took off to the upside again. Oh, where's that right now? I saw it this morning, but yeah, still going. Up 4 points.
All right, here's one we don't talk about. BTU, Peabody Energy. This is from Mike E in the chat. Mike E, what do you think, Mike E, on Peabody Energy? Are you long? Are you short? Do you want to be long? Do you want to be short? Tell us what you think. This is not one we look at very often. What the hell is going on the last week?
Yeah. It's been on a tear the last few months.
Last 2 weeks have been pretty brutal. You're down
yeah, after a huge run.
What's that, like 30%? More than that?
Well, it looks like it tagged 20.
It looks like it came close. Yeah, you're down like 35% the last couple weeks.
Yeah, but from just a basic, I mean, again, not
anything. Mikey wants to buy this dip with a 5% stop loss target.
You want to buy it with a 5% stop loss?
Yeah.
Well, there's
there are worse things probably, right?
Yeah, it's got, you can see there's some support there. I mean, again, no patterns jump off the screen at me, but there's definitely some old support back here and then the previous high there. So this level is not bad. I mean, as far as throwing a trading plan in place, I go just below the low of that day right there.
And you know what, Mikey?
We got
Mikey, as long as you got a plan, man, I would say go for it. Right? I think that's what Tony preaches. As long as you got a plan, go for it.
Well, yeah. If you know your risk and you know how much you have on the line when you're going to stop out, then
go for it, man. Go for it.
I mean, it's one of those things. It's if you know you've got $100, $200, $1,000, whatever your risk tolerance is.
Yeah.
And you're not afraid to let it go. I mean, that's always the attitude. If you can take, if you want to risk $1,000, if you can go stand on a cliff in a windy day and fan out $1,000 and let it go, then who cares, right?
Right. All right. I have to check real fast on BlackBerry here. We did get over 11.
Somebody asking BlackBerry.
And QS, we got 26. Oh my goodness gracious. Anyway, okay.
Well, you got something you're doing?
No, QS. I don't know why they called it out and then did nothing about it. It was $2.50 ago.
You and me both.
All right, whatever. Moving right along here.
What are you gonna do?
Moving right along. Okay. Buglog is asking about Asana. I think you and I discussed Asana last week, maybe, or the week prior. I think maybe Asana.
ASAN. It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But who knows? You look at hundreds of charts and
it stopped going up finally for the moment. It's at least pausing for a breath.
Yeah.
Triple top. I don't know.
Not on a daily, but
all right.
What does it look like intraday is the other question.
I don't know. That's what I ask you.
I know that's supposed to be it, right? The pattern whisperer. Somebody named me that. I was like, that's kind of cool, but I don't know where they came up with it, but Triple dot, yeah, on an intraday chart, I can see that. Yeah, triple top. I mean, definitely on an intraday 5-minute chart, there's it's hitting some resistance there. So there's the tricky part, though, especially with patterns, is you've got an ascending triangle going on. You've got a triple, even maybe a quadruple top, whatever you want to call it. I'm not too picky about attaching names to it. If it's hitting a resistance level, and 120, nice round number. So I would, if it breaks above that level, I'd be getting bullish. If it comes back down and it breaks this little trend line, which also coincides with that, then I'd be looking at a bearish trade on it. So right now it's stuck in the middle. I wouldn't touch it. But like I said, if it breaks above, I'd look at it. If it breaks down and it breaks below that 118.84, then I'd be getting bearish on it.
All right. Richer and Wiser is asking about Alibaba. I can't imagine you have anything good to say about this one, but why don't you pull it up? Oh, my God. You know what? I guess there was a headline that could be construed as positive, and that, well, I should rephrase. It could be construed as positive for the stock, negative for like users, consumers, that Alibaba or that Ant is going to basically just fork over a bunch of their user data to the government, making the government happy. In theory, that's good for the stock, but I can't imagine there's anything good to say about this.
Yeah, it's obviously this thing's been falling off a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
So where's the bottom is the question. Is there a bottom, and do you really want to catch a falling piano?
Now, hard to believe this thing was $319 a year ago. Basically.
Well, if you're trading the downside, it's beautiful.
Yeah, hey, that's right. That's why you got to go both ways, right?
It's all perspective. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's digging in a little bit there at 150, but if it can't hold it, then it looks like 130 is the next level. So yeah, nothing excited about this. Let's trade the downside. And even being this thing gaps too much for me. I don't like when I see big gaps like this every single day. A lot of times it's foreign companies.
Yeah.
I don't like waking up in the morning and finding out that it's gapped $5 against me.
Yeah.
So I mean that happens anyway, but with stocks like this, it's very common. So I usually just pass on them. So
we got time for a couple more here. Carlisle CSL. This is I don't actually know this. CSL Carlisle Companies. They do what do they do? They're an industrial. Okay, building rubber and plastic engineering products. Okay, CSL. Not a very thick stock.
Been around for a long time.
Not widely traded.
No, I've heard of these guys. I don't know. Are they auto parts or something or no? It says capital goods on my thing, but
yeah, it seems like they do something. Yeah, something like that.
So I mean, it did a nice little dig in there at 195, breaking above 200. So I can see it running up and challenging this 210, 215 level again. But it's going to have a little no big pattern I see. I mean, I don't see anything right now. No pattern that jumps off the screen at me. So you've got the little bit of resistance here at 204. It's got a little headwind there. If it breaks above there, it may hit 215. So the question is the risk reward worth it?
I'm trying to cover as many stocks as we can. I'm not going to get to all of them, guys. I apologize. Samsara's asking about CYDY. Samsara, CYDY is working. They were working on a COVID thing, and then it never got through. Don't even look at the chart. It's not
equipment.
It's not worth your time. It's not worth your time. But their COVID thing never happened. Samsara. So sorry about that. Okay, we can go to Array. ARRY. This thing gapped down on earnings back in May. And tried to fill the gap, failed there, fell below there. I don't know if you see anything on Array.
Yeah, it's bouncing there. Still a young stock. Hasn't been around too long. As long as that holds at 1720, I mean, nothing from a pattern perspective. Will it close that window is the question. Obviously, it's got a lot of volatility, so a little bit of a stretch to call it a double bottom here, but you could treat it that way. Put a stop just below that 1720 line. I mean, I'd put a stop just right there and then target somewhere up here just shy of that, and then throw an entry point in there based on that. So,
all right,
run the numbers on it.
Yeah, sure. You know what? Run it. Run it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what it comes up with.
I'm not going to change the color codes, mess with it time-wise. 2265. 1829. Oh, there we go. We'll make that orange for the entry. So that's a risk reward profile. It gives you about $4 of upside and $1.50 or so of downside. So if you love it, if you love the stock, or even if you don't love it, you just want to trade it. If you love the chart, I don't love stocks. I don't fall in love with stocks. I'm not looking to marry them. I just want to date them short term. So I know that's an old one, but it's just the reality of it. I'm not looking to stay into it long time. PLTR Palantir.
Yeah, this will be our last one.
Yeah, and this is one we've been watching too. Had the same thing with the trading plan. And I think I've been saying that the last few times we've looked at this. If it breaks above 27, then we look bullish. Where is it right now? I know it's somewhere on my list, but still running today. So yeah, it's already past the entry point, but 27.82 was it. Target of 31.07. So as long as it stays above that 27, then I'd stay bullish on it.
All right, guys. Tony Benson joins us every Thursday at 10:30 for a half hour. Goes over his charts. And Tony, I won't see you next week. No show next week. We got a special conference.
Okay.
So I'll talk to you in 2 weeks. And tell the people where they can find you.
At either wealthbuildershq.com or there's a free trial there. I don't know. You have the link still? You want me to drop it in there for you?
Yeah.
Or you can go directly to patternsoflash.com too and click on the free trial link. So yeah, that'll redirect you right to the page for the free trial. So
link on the screen there, patternsoflash.com. There we go. Tony Benson, always a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Spencer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not mean to cut you off. I swear. Sorry about that. It's 11:01 though. I got to go. SPACs Attack is going live right now. This video will end. It'll redirect you to the SPACs. Smash the like button. Hit the thumbs up or not. You know, whatever. That's fine too. See you guys over on SPACs.